Alright, this is John Colo with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for him here at the Ann Wigmore Insitute in Aguada, Puerto Rico, that I'm here for an entire week actually, staying on the property, eating all the food here. And every time I come here, it's like I get to cleanse basically on a living foods lifestyle, which is the Ann Wigmore Living Foods Lifestyle. You guys could surely come here, live the whole lifestyle yourself, learn it yourself, whether you want to come here in person or you could take their online coursework. But in this video, I hope to just share with you guys the 9 foods I want you guys to eat more of. These are 9 living foods, which are definitely better than raw foods, in my opinion, as well as the Ann Wigmore's opinion as well. So actually, let's go ahead and meet up with one of the head instructors here at Ann Wigmore and learn more about the 9 living foods we want you guys to eat more of. So now the pleasure of introducing you guys to Kaelash Neels, senior teacher, and he is on the leadership team here at the Ann Wigmore Institute. Plus, he started working here in 1999. And he's gonna tell you guys why living foods, these 9 living foods, are so important for you guys to start including in your diet on a regular basis.
Thanks, John. Well, living foods, like the term says, they're high in life force, energy, prana, mana, ki or chi. Doesn't matter what you call it, but life force, energy, and we feel more alive when we eat more living foods. Living foods are high in enzymes, high in phytonutrients, high in vitamins, high in minerals, prebiotics, postbiotics, and probiotics as well.
Wonderful. So let's learn about these 9 living foods we want you guys to eat more of here at the Ann Wigmore Institute. So Kaelash should wait for me here in the greenhouse, where we're going to show you guys some of the best living foods you guys should grow at home that could take literally maybe a few hours or even a few days. All right, Kaelash, so what is the first living food that somebody can make literally in a few hours or maybe even a day in their house?
One of the simplest things and also very, very nutritious things you can do is soak chia seeds. You just soak them overnight, and then the next morning you throw them in the blender and blend them into a cream. You can make smoothies from that, or a salad dressing, for example, or just enjoy the cream. Very high in omega-3s and so many other things. Also, pumpkin is quite easy. You just soak it for 6 to 8 hours and then let it drain, activating it for another 6 to 8 hours in the air, and also an excellent seed to be used.
So why aren't raw seeds and nuts used, Kaelash? Why must they be soaked?
We activate the enzymes. The enzymes start breaking down the macronutrients, proteins into amino acids, complex carbohydrates into simple sugars, and fats are broken down into fatty acids. So activated seeds and sprouts are much easier digestible. You're kind of outsourcing the work. The seeds are doing the work for you as they are being activated with the water, as opposed to your body draining a lot of vital life force energy when you're digesting, during all that time that you're digesting that food. So it's easy to digest nourishment.
Yeah, so all nuts and seeds for best results should just be soaked in water before eaten, you know, and just drained, right? Soaked and drained.
When they're activated, you basically soak them, drain them, and most of them are ready to be used just like that. And also what happens is the minerals change. When they're raw, they're more on the acid forming side, and then when you're activated, after you activated the seeds and the enzymes, the minerals, they are more alkaline forming.
Wonderful. And there are a few brands that actually sell pre-activated and then dehydrated things like pumpkin and sunflower seeds on the market if you guys are lazy. So Kaelash, what is the second living food we want more people to eat?
Sprouts. And here we have alfalfa, here we have radish, nice and spicy. These develop chlorophyll as opposed to the activated seeds. They don't have chlorophyll. And now here in these we have the chlorophyll. They are very cleansing. They have a good type of water, structured water, and they're low caloric.
Low calorie. Help you lose some weight.
Yeah.
And these are also very rich in plant phytonutrients as they germinate, including the radish sprouts right there, have anti-cancer properties within them. So I want you guys to get some radish or other kind of brassica sprouts in you regularly. So Kaelash, what are some examples of sprouts that just grow like this, literally on a cafeteria tray just in a few days?
Alfalfa, clover, radish, kale, cabbage, broccoli, and fenugreek as well, which we don't let it actually sprout until it has chlorophyll. We harvest it before. But these are super easy to do, especially the fenugreek. Very good, very cleansing, also good for cancer.
Wonderful. So the third living food, Kaelash, that we're looking at in front of us is
microgreens.
Microgreens that can grow within like 7 to 10 or 14 days, depending on the specific microgreen. Why are microgreens so beneficial, Kaelash?
Again, they're high in enzymes, they have good structured water, chlorophyll, prebiotics, postbiotics, and probiotics. Now here we have Mitsuna, we have amaranth, so beautiful, the red color. So here you see the phytonutrients, of course, here, the red color. This is fennel. They add great flavor and colors to your food as well. I love them. We like growing them here at the Ann Wigmore Institute. You can grow them yourself, it's pretty easy. And many health food stores carry them, and you can find them at farmers markets as well.
And then of course you guys got back here lots of sunflower greens, which is probably the main microgreen you guys grow here. You want to talk more about the sunflower greens that may be available at many different health food stores, like in the produce section.
And they have a good amount of protein, of course, and lots of water here in the stem, very alkaline forming. This is the main food in the energy soup, which we're going to talk later about.
So we're here at the juice bar at Ann Wigmore. If you come to the Ann Wigmore Institute, you guys can drink all you want wheatgrass juice, and actually that is the fourth living food we want you guys to eat. So Kaelash, why is wheatgrass juice so good? And while Kaelash is telling you, I'm going to actually be juicing some fresh wheatgrass.
Well, it's definitely very high in chlorophyll because it is so green, and sometimes it's called concentrated sun power energy. It's fresh here, we make it fresh. John is just cutting it. Everybody gets wheatgrass juice here in the morning, and he said you can drink as much as you like, but be careful if you drink too much, you might get sick because it cleanses your body, and it can be a little bit strong if you're not used to drinking it. So you might want to start with just an ounce or two and then increase it gradually. Wheatgrass juice is high in, as I mentioned, chlorophyll, structured water, vitamin B12. It has all the amino acids that we need, and like I mentioned, it's cleansing, it's a blood cleanser, and can be used also on your skin, can be used in your eyes, you can put it in your nose, and you can, like we do here, you can use it as an implant after you use enema. You can use it to help scarring, and after sunburn, the uses are just limitless. Wheatgrass juice is nature's finest medicine.
All right, I'm going to have a little shot here today at Ann Wigmore fresh made wheatgrass juice. And what's the best way to drink this stuff, Kaelash?
Slowly put it in your mouth and chew it. Let it get mixed well with your saliva before you swallow it. Do not chew your drink. Chew it well before you swallow it.
Now, if you guys don't grow your own wheatgrass or have a juicer to get it, a lot of juice bars near you may sell wheatgrass shots.
It's kind of like eating a salad. Still eat your salad, but it has a lot of nutrients. It's very concentrated, the nutrition in wheatgrass juice.
Tastes like it too.
And it was Ann Wigmore, Dr. Ann Wigmore, who popularized the drinking of wheatgrass juice.
So now we're here in the garden at the Ann Wigmore Institute, where they grow some of the very vegetables that they serve in the kitchen that they pick right before, and they include them in the recipes. And to share with you guys the fifth living food we want you to eat. So Kaelash, what is it?
Fresh picked vegetables like this dill here, and the lettuces that are growing here, and the oregano, and the kale that's growing over there, and the collard, and all of these wonderful greens, and in general vegetables. Fresh picked vegetables are high in life force, energy, in enzymes, and in general in nutrients.
So Kaelash, what's the difference between vegetables you just buy like at Whole Foods versus something fresh picked, and why is this better?
Well, there's certainly a lot more enzymatic activity here in this fresh food here, in this fresh dill, as opposed to something that you buy in the store, which may have been sitting there and it's been transported and so forth, and cooled, maybe refrigerated. So here, this is fresh, it's vibrant, the colors are rich, it's much richer in enzymes than what you would find in the store.
And life force, for sure. I mean, that's why I grow a garden and teach you guys how to grow your own food, but I'm gonna say this. The best way to eat your vegetables is to not even pick it, Kaelash, and how am I gonna do that today? Just go down and eat it. It's the most living food you'll ever eat in your life because it's not cut, put in refrigeration, shipped across the country, and then you finally get it. Could be, you know, several weeks later after it was picked. Grow it and eat it fresh for the most vibrancy, highest nutrition content. Nutrition does go down over time as vegetables are in storage. So now we're in the kitchen and we're going to share with you guys some prepared living food. So Kaelash, what is the 6th living food that you guys should include more of?
The 6th is sauerkraut or veggie kraut. Sauerkraut is pure cabbage, and veggie kraut can have other vegetables mixed into it. And here we have broccoli, and we have carrots, and we have turmeric. And so this is of course high in probiotics and also has prebiotics and postbiotics, and it's very, very high in vitamin C. Now, the turmeric has anti-inflammatory effects. We talked earlier about chia, and here we have some ground or blended chia. Chia should always be blended.
And it's the activated chia that they blend. So they soak it and then they blend it in the vacuum blender.
That's right. And then it turns into cream like this. This is how your body actually gets the omega to the omega-3s. This is how you get the full benefit of chia. And flax used the same way. And it's, I mentioned omega-3s, which have anti-inflammatory effects, which means if there's excess inflammation, inflammation goes down, can go down, and this often means that there's less pain. Less inflammation often translates to less pain.
So Kaelash, does somebody need to make their own sauerkraut, and the sauerkraut you guys make here has 0 salt added, or can they buy it in the store, and what's the difference?
Well, based on Ann Wigmore, it's really best to consume it without salt because the salt cannot really be assimilated and translated or converted to minerals. The minerals are not very accessible. So here we use the veggie kraut without any added salt, and it is very, very easy to make, really, at home. So hopefully you'll learn how to make it. And if you buy it, look for the one that has the lowest salt or no salt. From Ann Wigmore's perspective, it's best to avoid the salt altogether.
And most important, if you guys are buying it at your local health food store, make sure you get it from the refrigerated case and it says live or raw on there. Some brands may be pasteurizing their sauerkraut, so you're not going to get the same benefits. And yeah, just look at that sodium content and make sure it's per serving and make sure the serving size is the same across all the ones and get the one with the lowest sodium. I'm going to definitely say that's the best. So Kaelash, what is the 7th living food that we want people to eat?
The 7th living food that we want you to eat, or better said, drink, is basically sauerkraut juice. And Ann Wigmore, she coined the term Rejuvelac. So this is Rejuvelac, which is basically cabbage blended with water and then fermented for 3 days at room temperature. And it's also and then strained through a milk bag or something like that. And it's very, very high in probiotics and also as high in vitamin C as orange juice.
Wow. So can somebody buy this, or do you have to make it, and is it always made with vegetables like cabbage, or can you make it with other things?
You could, and we used to make it from soft wheat and then for a while with quinoa. So it could be made from grains as well, but now we exclusively use cabbage because a lot of the time the seeds that we get here in Puerto Rico, they don't sprout, and we only want to use viable sprouted seeds or at least activated to make the Rejuvelac. So here we use cabbage. This is of course the white cabbage. I suggest if you have it available to use the purple cabbage because clearly it's different color, which means different phytonutrients and more antioxidants. And the purple color we don't get enough of, so it's great to get that color in with your Rejuvelac into your system.
So what does Rejuvelac mean, Kaelash? Why did Ann Wigmore name it Rejuvelac?
Well, there's the term lac, so lactic acid, but it's not the type that we produce when we do exercise. It's a different type of lactic acid. And well, the Rejuvelac is very high in vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, and it retards the process of oxidation. So even before vacuum blenders and Wigmore, she knew that when we blend food, that we add oxygen to the food. And she suggested that we always add some Rejuvelac to the blender when we blend something, because the Rejuvelac retards the process of oxidation, and aging has a lot to do with oxidation. And so the Rejuvelac can retard also our inner oxidation and aging process. So it's rejuvenating. Rejuvelac rejuvenates. And in some countries it has different names. Like I'm from Germany, and there it's called Saurkrautsaft, the juice from sauerkraut, or Brottrunk, which is a drink bread basically, and that's the one I mentioned earlier, where you use the seeds, the grains, to make the Rejuvelac. So in some countries it's easy to find in health food stores. In the United States, in some areas of the United States, you can also find it in the health food store under the name of Rejuvelac.
Yeah, and in some health food stores in the U.S., they may call it just kraut juice. So they just sell the kraut juice these days. Can be also high in salt, so watch it. So Kaelash, now we're on to the 8th living food we want you to eat. What is it?
It's either seed cheese or seed yogurt, and what it basically is, it's an oily seed blended with Rejuvelac, which we just introduced, and then fermented for a few hours. So to make the seed yogurt, here we use either pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds or hazelnuts or almonds that are activated, and then we blend it with Rejuvelac, and then it's just ferments at room temperature for, well, somewhere between 3 and 8 hours. And because it's fermented, it's high in probiotics, also has prebiotics and postbiotics, and it's recommended not to eat large quantities because it's a fatty food, you know. And I personally love it over my salads. That itself, to me, is a salad dressing.
Yeah, it's got a little zing to it, right?
Yes.
And these days, some better health food stores may sell like the seed cheeses, but make sure if you guys are buying one of the raw seed cheeses that are fermented, that they don't contain added things like coconut oil, this basically straight fat. You want it just made out of solely nuts, and most of the brands out there, I think they're using like cashews and just basically fermenting them. And it actually tastes like real cow cheese, so you can get some, more plant foods in you instead of eating that dairy. So this brings us to the 9th and final living food, which is the pinnacle of what I think of as when I think of Ann Wigmore. What is it?
It's the most important food in the living foods lifestyle as developed by Dr. Ann Wigmore, and it's called energy soup. It's very green.
Right here.
It's very rich in microgreens, sunflower microgreens, buckwheat microgreens. It has also, this probably has some spinach in it, and a little bit of Rejuvelac, and it has some dulse, seaweed, carrot, zucchini, yellow summer squash, and sprouted lentils.
This is power-packed with vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, prebiotics, probiotics, every biotic that you guys could think of. I mean, you could sustain yourself on this from a nutrition standpoint for the most part, but maybe not so the calories.
Unless you add some fat to it, which is another ingredient. We often add some avocado or chia or flax cream or seed yogurt, which we talked about earlier, or seed cheese to add a little bit of texture and flavor and calories to the energy soup.
Wonderful. So Kaelash, how can somebody make the energy soup?
How you make energy soup? Well, you need a blender, and we suggest using a vacuum blender. And we're going to have a whole video on that, and also in the online program you can learn how to make energy soup.
Wonderful. All right, so you guys just learned the 9 living foods we want you to eat. And once again, Kaelash, why should somebody include more of these living foods in their life? What will they see and how will they benefit?
Should feel lighter. It should have a clear mind if you eat more living foods. Your digestive system should start working better. You might lose some weight also if you eat those foods, and I find them to taste good too. I enjoy eating them.
Yes, they do taste good. I've been here almost an entire week now eating the foods here, and I love it for sure. So Kaelash, before we sign off, we got one final bonus tip for you guys. And Kaelash, what is it?
So this is not a food, but it's one of the pillars of the Living Foods lifestyle, which is food combining. And I'd like to recommend one of the many guidelines or rules, which is do not combine complex carbohydrates with concentrated proteins, and which basically means that you should avoid mixing concentrated proteins, which avocados contain, and nuts and oily seeds, and also coconut meat, and then some foods which we don't use here, but if you should, then meat, fish, eggs, those contain concentrated proteins. They should not be mixed with dense starches or complex carbohydrates. And here you can see potatoes, grains are on this list, and it's better to not eat them together in the same meal. So using just one of these dense concentrated foods in your meal and then making a big salad and mixing that with your salad. That would be my bonus recommendation to get into shape, to get healthier, to feel better, feel lighter, and perhaps even sleep better.
So now that you guys learned the living foods and the bonus tip, I hope you guys start incorporating these tips into your lifestyle. And if you need a little more help than just this video can provide, how could somebody come to the Ann Wigmore Insitute, Kaelash, for a week or two and stay here and literally get immersed into the food combining and all the living foods? They'll learn how to grow it, learn how to make it, they'll learn how to do everything. They'll be a pro once they leave, provided they show up to the classes and even get fed like I've been getting fed this week.
So you can find out more about the lifestyle and the programs through the website www.annwigmore.org, or call the office 787-868-6307, and we have a beautiful, wonderful, comprehensive online program where you learn how to make energy soup, seed yogurt, seed cheese, sauerkraut, veggie kraut, dehydrated foods as well, and sprouting and growing microgreens and all of these things in our comprehensive online program, which you can also learn more about on our website.
Wonderful, Kaelash. So I really hope you guys enjoy this episode learning about the living foods today, and you start including some of these, even if you go out and go to a juice bar once in a while and drink some wheatgrass, or just at least minimally soak your nuts and seeds, guys. That's super simple, super easy. That's one of the things I'm going to try to start doing when I get home. If you just soak them in the morning, man, by the time you're eating them for dinner and making your dressing, it's activated. Super simple, super easy. I want you to incorporate one or two of these things right now. And hey, let me know what you're going to incorporate. Post a comment down below. Let me know. Maybe other people will incorporate those things as well, so that you too could start eating more living foods and feeling more vibrant. If you guys enjoyed this episode here at Ann Wigmore Insitute today, hey, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up, and more importantly, share this with other people who are on a raw foods diet or plant-based diet or any kind of diet, because these tips can improve any diet for sure, in my belief. Also, be sure to click the subscribe button right down below so you miss out on new and upcoming episodes. I have a bunch of other videos I've also filmed here at Ann Wigmore that are soon to come out as well. So make sure you click the little bell to get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to share my past episodes. My past episodes are all from knowledge. I have videos going back over 10 years that I filmed this same guy with me here at Ann Wigmore, sharing the knowledge of the living foods lifestyle. So I'll put links down below to some of the videos I made in the past with Kaelash, as well as other videos I made here at the Ann Wigmore Institute, so you guys could learn more about them. So with that, my name is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables, sprouts, microgreens, and other living foods are the best.